Right, welcome back to the Hardcore Project. This is episode 3, where we got to catch up with GASSED. We spoke to them about new material, previous shows and tours that they've been on, and members causing general mayhem to the public.
And also, we talk all about pet peeves. We also talk about the writing process that the guys do.
Especially during lockdown. So, thanks very much for clicking on, and we hope you enjoy the episode. Right, so welcome back to, we've got the Hardcore Project here. We've got Shaun and we've got Jack from GASSED. Right. How you doing, boys?
Perfect.
Right to hear, fellas. How's things been with old GASSED?
To be honest, we've been quite quiet for a while, haven't we? As soon as lockdown started, we sort of just stopped everything. I'd say that happened for at least 2 months. Like, we didn't even write anything. You know, we're in a position where we didn't really know what we were going to do. But in the past month or so, that's really picked up now. And now we're making all the plans for coming back. Like, I mean, the other day we announced that tour that we're doing in
the Slam Worldwide tour.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
The first thing we're doing in 2021. So it's like it's all come on at once at the minute, and now we're really busy again. Even though we're not playing shows, we're really busy in every other aspect. Which is
where you kind of want to be, given the current situation. Obviously, not playing shows, you still need to get yourselves tied up in other things, and here's one of them, to be fair. So it's getting yourselves out there again, isn't it? Just on the internet at the moment.
Well, we've started seeing each other again now, which is productive. Like, we tried writing separately, didn't we, Jack? Like, you sent me like some videos of you playing guitar, and then Newt would write something and he'd send it over, and it just doesn't work for our band. We've all got to be in the same room.
That's your writing process. So, you all need to be sat in the same thing. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
You were quite like that, weren't you, Matt, when it was coming to like writing Oxblood stuff?
Oxblood is a mixture, because when we started, it was very much like we all sat in a room and recorded demos. We like opened a Pro Tools session, did bit by bit, and then we just kind of edited the song, brought it down in length, and went from there. More recently, though, we've been doing it where we'll start messing around in practice. It's strange, really, because I think we got so used to the whole way of doing it in Pro Tools and just doing it as a session. And then I'm going, oh, shit, we need to actually know how to play this. That was step 2. But yeah, I think this time around, I think we started doing it more. We'll jam something out and then do it the opposite way around. But it's each to their own. I think every band has the preference. I don't think there's like a one golden rule way of doing writing.
Of being able to write the perfect song, of course, and especially within the genre that we've got here, we're like sort of hardcore overall. We'll never have a perfect song, but I think it just varies in violence with all that hardcore stuff.
We've always said, like, we want to sit down in a practice room and literally just like, we do it when we practice. If we get bored, we'll start playing and literally just play anything and see what happens. Like, Newt and Jack will start playing a riff, I'll start playing along, and Dan just freestyles over it. And we've always said, like, we want to try writing a song like that, but we've still not got around to it. I don't think, because we've never done it before, we don't feel comfortable in that situation. We don't feel right unless we can rewind, delete, retry. We're not comfortable with that yet, but we've been saying for about 2 years we need to write a song like that.
What was that there, Jack? Sorry, mate.
I was saying it's like remembering it as well. Like, you don't record it, do you? You just play it, and then you'll find something amazing, and then you'll be like, oh no.
Yeah, and then because you've not recorded it, you've lost it.
That's my feeling. I've started recording everything on. I've started recording everything on my phone. It's like I'll go right. I'll video this. I still won't remember how to fucking play it, but I videoed it, and I can work it out by ear afterwards and see how it goes. It's the pain of being a guitar.
To be fair, Jack, I think we've got a song on our latest EP called Pain Resides. I'm sure that started in the practice room, with Matt on your guitar.
Probably did.
I think that's the first time it's ever happened where a riff's been made in the practice room, and then we've gone back to our little home studio and gone, hold on, didn't we play something there that sounded really good? Yeah, this is what it was. So that's the only time, I think.
Yeah, and that only time a little bit of inspiration was struck, like a click of the finger sort of thing. That's fair enough. Well, GASSED have been going now for like, what is it? Coming up to 5 years or just over 5 years? You've been with them the whole time, is that right, Shaun?
No, I'm actually second drummer.
Second drummer, no way.
Well, I've just passed my 5 years in the band. So Jack's probably best to talk about this. They were only going for about 6 months before I joined, I think. So
right, okay. So Jack being the original member, and then you just 6 months afterwards, right? Okay. So obviously, as I said, 2015. So you got 5 years there. Seen you up and down the country, and recently I had you abroad, didn't it? Over was it AAK Family Fest? How was that?
That was horrible.
Why? What happened?
Well, we played in Belgium the night before, and it was quality, like, and we had a few drinks. I had a few too many. I felt like a dog's ass the next day. It was horrible.
Oh yeah, we were on the motorway in Luxembourg, I think it was, and then Jack just goes into the back with this Tesco carrier bag, and then you just hear him absolutely screaming his guts out.
Oh, rough, man.
But you can imagine, like, getting to this AK Family Fest or something, AAK or whatever.
AAK.
And it's like every band is just relentless beat down, and they're literally smashing people's faces in, and I'm just rotting in the corner like, oh, I
can't go.
It's just like being in hell. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love beat down, I love that type of music, but when you're in that state, it's not a good place to be in.
It's not appreciated, not to the degree it should be.
And what was funny as well is, like, all the other bands were like really heavy beatdown bands, and we are just not like that. So we were headlining as well. So it's like the whole day from about 1 p.m. till 9 p.m. was just this relentless beatdown. and then we get on stage. It's just like, what is this?
You have your moments, though. Don't get me wrong. You have your moments there. Like,
little one.
I've seen you.
Oh God, sorry.
No, go on, Jack. Sorry, mate. That's me.
I was gonna say, like, we are like quite a heavy band, like in terms of, you know, hardcore or whatever. But then when we stepped on that stage, we literally looked like frigging neck deep or something compared to the rest of the line.
Just because of how heavy it was.
Jack, tell him about that girl who walked out. Who was it? Harlequin. Tell him about that girl during Harlequin.
Yeah, like I must have woken up because I was sat on the sofa. This girl just come out with like blood all over her face, and I was just like, "This is not the place I want to be in right now." It was bad, yeah. They were literally just kicking the shit out of everyone, and if you were in there, you're a dead man.
that is European shows in a nutshell. I went to Germany for Desolated in Stuttgart.
Oh,
God.
And yeah, it was great fun. Don't get me wrong. And obviously, when you're a Brit abroad for a show, it's appreciated a little bit more. I don't know why, but it's just like, you know, that accent, that's not from around here. You know, where are you from? You get chatting with people. But yeah, the Euro shows go off. Like, so Stuttgart wasn't too bad, but when I went to Munich for it was a nasty show, Nasty and Lionheart, mate. When people go off for the Euro shows, they go off. Yeah. I mean, multiple people come out with broken bones and stuff. And I wish I was just exaggerating on that, but there is no exaggeration. They go in, then they go hard, and then they might just go home. But if not, they'll just fucking carry on. It's fucking nuts. Yeah.
And then they just get up and shake hands like nothing's happened.
Yeah.
In normal day-to-day life, that would be assault on the street. In there, they're best mates, aren't they? It's mad.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of hardcore, you know.
That really is, yeah, nail on the head there, mate. It's just after shows that we've probably seen everything happen at, like, it's questionable behaviour outside of it looking in, but like, when you're involved in it, it's all right. I just caught a spin kick to the head, but you know, it happens.
That's my opinion. I hate it when people kick off about it, because it's like, you know what you're going to, and
of course
there is always room for you to stay away from it. So if you want to be away from it, just don't stand near it. And that's what I feel. It's like you can't go to one of these shows and just expect nothing to happen. So I feel like you've just got to accept that you might get punched.
Yeah.
Not personal. You got to be all right.
It's very rare that it's personal. You do get some people, though. There are some, but I mean, it's very rare, for like few and far between. But yeah, sometimes it does just happen. You just get a little knock, but it just comes with the territory, doesn't it, boys? I mean...
We're saying all this about like being very like violent and aggressive, but like the Europeans, when you go over there from the UK, the hospitality and everything is fantastic. They were making us food, and offered us
Makes
places.
you question what we're doing wrong over here, doesn't it, at times?
Yeah, when you go to shows over here, you just kind of like, play and fuck off. But over there, it's like, come and stay, come and have a few drinks with us and meet everyone, and it's brilliant.
Get involved, and it's proper. It's as you said, it's hospitable. That's where you want to be.
We were never meant to play that Belgium show, but the about 2 days before we got there, what happened, Sean? We were supposed to play Netherlands, but then the Belgian promoter said, we can put you up and give you a show in like the space of like 2 days. So, brilliant, we'll go then.
Well, it was the Netherlands.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, the Netherlands promoter was turned out to be a bit questionable, so we pulled the show. This was about 2 weeks to go. Luckily we got this Belgium show really last minute, and turns out to be probably the best show we've ever played, or one of them.
One of the best shows. There you go, spontaneous little show, throw up there, and then there you go. What was it? So who else played on that Belgium show? Then it was the locals.
Matt would know this.
This makes us look awful, doesn't it?
No, mate. No, it's just I'm one of those people. I press on knowledge like this because I just like to know things.
Do you know what? Do you know what? Let me find out for you.
Whilst you're doing that, I'll interject and say I'm very jealous. I've never actually played Europe. It's always been one of them things that I've always been curious to do because, as you've said, I imagine it's like completely different, and like the actual reaction to music in general. I don't think it actually matters what genre of type of band you are. I think just overall it's a more welcomed experience than what it is in the UK, which is such a shame.
Yeah, it's mad. We got to Ypres, we got out of the van and it was like this beautiful city that was just that we were going on this country road for ages, and all of a sudden we just appeared in this beautiful cathedrals and all these beautiful architecture, and we got out and we were like, hang on a minute, we're playing a freaking hardcore show. What is doing?
We're taking a left turning wrong here.
And the people just started flooding in, and we were like, where have these people come from?
Well, what was
and two
cool
guys came from France.
Yeah, like we had guys coming up to us at the end saying like how far they travelled. Like I think it took me an hour to start packing down after the show because we were signing stuff. And that's what I mean. And this was my last minute show. It was just madness.
It's
those bands that we played with, Five Across and Despite Us. I think they were both local.
Both locals to the show.
One of them Hyper. Is that where we were? Hyper Belgium.
One of them covered Irate, I think I remember. Yeah, and it really good. It went on. Yeah.
Yes. Was it Vendetta by any chance?
It was. Yeah, of course. It was.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's a silly question. I don't even know if I already knew it was. I think I just needed to hear it confirmed.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I went proper deep on the gassed up research, right? And I was having a look at some previous videos that were out dotted about and stuff. You've done some covers in the past, haven't you? I remember, wasn't there a Day to Remember one at one point?
Yeah. Oh no. That was class. I'd actually bring that back, you know. What we did was we'd play like the intro of The Downfall of Us All.
Yeah.
And then, like we'd everyone would be like, oh my god, they're playing Downfall of Us All, and then we'd stop and then just play one of our own songs.
I remember I've seen you a couple of times now, up and down. Liverpool, Preston, pretty sure Manchester as well. So I've seen you guys quite a few times actually. I think the most recent one was the Desolated show, I want to say, in Rebellion, you know, and it was Desolated No Zodiac, that full day.
Oh yeah.
I think you've actually been to our Preston show.
The hometown one that you did with.
Yeah, I think. Oh no, did we do Desolated in November?
Yeah, Desolated was November, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, bloody hell, I'm getting lost in my years. That feels like 2018 now.
Yeah, do you know, I've proper lost my concept of time since all this started. You know, like, someone would go to me, all right, so you're busy on Tuesday. It's like, I don't even know what day it is today. Never mind Tuesday. Like, I can't keep up with it. So it was Desolated back in November. You had the hometown show as well. Yeah, well, you had the Gnostic State UK tour, didn't you, with MTXS? Let's cover over that. How was that for you guys? Was that like a first full like headline tour? Was it?
Yeah, like we'd never even done. I think we'd never done more than 3 shows in a row before that.
So just like weekenders along the way sort of thing. And
so it was our first actual tour. We did 10 days. It wasn't all in one go. But that was our first time ever, I think we did at 1.6 shows in a row. So that was, it felt like a little tour to us.
Yeah. It's still a stint though, still a long stint. And you and MTXS are pretty good friends now, aren't you? Constantly always pretty much goes together now. You can see it's always good to see that.
Those guys are amazing, incredible people, incredible musicians as well. Fantastic guys.
You're getting some stuff, if I've seen right. You're getting is it remixes of the Gnostic State songs?
Yeah, we've done a few. It was Josh from Azazel that's remixed and mastered them for us, because we didn't really feel that we got the proper punch from the actual EP. So we've gone in and got them remastered, and they sound a lot better, to be fair. But yeah, Shaun.
And also we felt like because obviously in lockdown we didn't really have much opportunity to release content. You're scrapping for ideas really at points. So we thought we'd always spoken about maybe getting stuff remixed, and this was the chance. It was like we had nothing else to do. So, and Josh, we're really good friends with Azazel now. So Josh has started his own studio, and he started recording bands. I know Josh does a lot of work for Azazel. They self-record everything. Right. So we thought we'd give him the chance. So it's just stuff to add to his portfolio, and it's given us some content over the few months before we can actually hit a studio again.
Of course, yeah. And obviously you'll have a bit more of a sort of bar that you'll be looking at for when you do your next release, where you'll be like, right, this is a substandard that I do want. And obviously if I can get higher, then obviously you will. Have you been looking at any recording of new songs and stuff yet at all, or are you still just gonna ride the Gnostic State? It was Gnostic State.
Yeah. 4 weeks tomorrow.
Was that all you're leaving me with? Is that that's all I need. That's all I need.
Well, no, I'll speak about it. We self-produced our EP, and we knew our other guitarist. He's made his own home studio. So everything up until Mother I Suffer was with Eric Bickerstaff from Loathe. Yeah. So he did everything. And then just before we released Mother I Suffer, we got Newt in the band, and he does his own stuff. So we decided to start doing it ourselves. But now we've gotten to the point where, fair enough, we've done well for a local band. We've learned a lot. We've done our own stuff. Now it's time to take it to that next level. And I feel like we needed a proper studio environment and a producer to do that. So that's the next steps for us. We're changing the way we do things. We're putting a lot more money into what we do now, because we feel we're at that point now where we can't be taking a step back. We need to be taking a step forward.
Pushing forward forever, of course.
If we're going to make something of it, we need to take that step up rather than taking side steps for years to come, which I feel like we maybe have done in the past year. Just rode the wave a bit. Now it's time to get over the wave, if you know what I mean.
The hardcore honeymoon period. Yeah. That's what we'll go with. Because there was a point where you had a little bit of a break, didn't you? Halfway through the gassed up career, and then it was and then you made a comeback. It was I think, was it Shedfest? Was it Shedfest number 3? I think it was. That was a good show with that to come back to there. It was well received.
That was amazing. Stevie Gamble got his knee popped out. That was that one.
That's what that was. Yeah, Matt, that was it. So fucking one of these lads was in the pit just having a bit of a bounce around and stuff, having a good time. He was gassed up flying riffs out and stuff. Right. No word of a lie. This guy's fucking. He must have. I think he stood on his leg a bit funny, and he's just sort of been pushed the other way, and his knee's gone, mate. His kne's popped. I saw that halfway through the gassed up set, mate. You can see it.
I swear his knee was in his thigh.
Mate, yeah, it just looked like it just shifted up. Oh, mate, I remember seeing it, and I remember people sort of turning around, going something's happened, but nobody was quick to react. We were quick enough to react. I'm sure Dan was on the mic saying, "Can someone bring an ambulance? I think this guy needs actual help." we're sort of like, well, yeah. But yeah,
the best thing about that, he got taken out and the medics turned up, and it must have been a dislocation or something. So he's obviously got it popped back into place, and he's just come back in and started fucking pitting again. I was like, whoa, is this guy off his head?
Madness.
Oh man.
What was good about that show as well is like it was our first show in a year. It was our first time doing anything really in a year, and we released Conflict that morning. So literally Conflict had been out for about 2 hours before we played. So it was really fun to play that for the first time. Bear in mind to an audience that probably hadn't heard it, but it was really fun to just come back and do something new.
Yeah. And as I say, it was especially from what I've seen in the video, and obviously being there in attendance too, it was incredibly well received, and I think it really brought back the hype for Gassed Up again.
Definitely,
and people definitely started getting excited for you again. And then obviously, you started getting more shows going along. So that's when Preston started to open up again for hardcore shows, didn't it? Because it had that fucking that little bit of time off. But what show was that? That was that accident. It's desolated, wasn't it?
Yeah, someone got bottled in the face, or a chair went through a window, or something like that. I can't remember. It was at the Adelphi.
I can't remember the details. Yeah, and I think that was the last ever show at the Adelphi. Did Gassed Up play that one? Was it?
No.
Adelphi. God.
Yeah, do you remember that one?
Yeah.
You can only go in there for food now. You're not allowed to do anything else. Can't have too much fun. Don't have too much fun. We'll ban you.
It was such an awful but such an amazing venue at the same time. It was like you were playing on like just like a banister, but it was class. And every gig I ever played there, I hated. But then looking back, I thought, how amazing was that? And I'd love to just do it again.
You guys have played quite a few like hometown shows, but obviously that notable one was the Gnostic State one, where you actually had it was Lethal Minds, Blossom and Burn. Was it False Hope as well?
Yeah, False Hope.
That was it. Those three. That was a show. I think someone during Blossom and Burn, someone actually sparked me out. Someone wasn't happy with me doing me.
I didn't know if we were going to mention that.
Mate, yeah, we're bringing it up. It's funny, isn't it? It's a good laugh.
I didn't know that was you.
Yeah. I'm still trying to piece together what happened, to be honest, because it was such a blur. Because I just remember getting hitting the floor, and then getting up, and someone going, "It's him over there," and it was my mate chasing the other guy. That was it.
Well, I saw our manager, and our manager was there, and I just vaguely remember him like dragging him out of the show. Like I've never seen that side of him, and he's always been like so calm. But like I've never seen that side of him. It's so funny.
He mustn't have been happy with the situation. He must have seen it all. We'll have to ask him.
To be fair, that's one of those situations where we knew that was personal, and that's where there's no time for it. Like
it's one of them, though, isn't it, mate? I mean, to be honest, I do cartwheel into people, so I've only got myself to fucking blame.
But the funny thing is, if you know it's coming. So it's funny for people who don't know you, and then when you start doing it, but I know it's coming when I see you.
Yeah, and I don't mean it in like a vicious way. Fucking hell, I couldn't fight my way out of a wet paper bag. Do you know what I mean? I'm not vicious in any way, shape, or form. But someone plays a riff, I'm gonna do a cartwheel or fucking throw myself to it. You daft.
Yep. Especially if it's Blossom and Burn as well.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
They hit the spot, and I was buzzing with that Amur cover they did. Like that was happy times.
Yeah.
Well, they played the Birmingham show that we played on the Gnostic State tour, and it was sold out, and that was an incredible show. And we watched Blossom and Burn for the first time. We listened to him on the way there in the van, but then when we saw him, we were like, I'm going to go right over to that guy, the vocalist now, and tell him you're playing the Preston show. And I think his mum and dad were there, and they were just like, they were so happy for him because it was that was their show. So we went over to his mum and dad, and we were like, "Can your son come and play in Preston for us?" They were made.
Yeah, he's free. Yeah, he's not booked up. We'll ship him over. We'll sort it. That's sound. Mate, and that's how you get shows going, boys. That's.
But yeah, they're amazing. Good band.
You had who else was on that? Who else was on the Birmingham show? It was I think was it Mantler? Did Mantler play there as well?
Can't remember.
No, it was Vendetta were on it. There was Loose Ends. There was a rapper, Figure 9, and Reckless Harm.
Ah, right. Okay.
I think that was the lineup. Feel tight if I've missed anyone out.
We'll recover it. I'll make sure it gets popped in. Don't worry, mate. It's one of those.
We'll put a massive subtitle on the front of it just in case we need like a ban. We'll just like slap it in the middle.
Say sorry, asterisk.
Sorry in advance. Yeah, just in case. You played with some pretty big bands as well over the years. I know you when it was supported. There was bands like Comeback Kid. There was Last 10 Seconds of Life. Did you get a chance to like speak to any of those when you were like doing the show sort of thing?
We spoke to Comeback Kid, didn't we? Jack, do you remember? Were you there? Yeah, we spoke to Comeback Kid. That's one thing you need to try and do, I think, when you're playing with a bigger band. Make yourself known.
Yeah, just get involved and talk to people, isn't it?
So, yeah, like especially in our band, Dan and Matt, for example, chat to everyone. So it's perfect in that sense because those two are very good for networking, and that's what you need to do. You need to make friends with people. You need to, because you're playing a show with someone, you don't just want to turn up and ignore everyone. You're all in it for the same thing, aren't you? So you want to
exactly.
Yeah.
And especially such an established band like Comeback Kid, and they've come from, what is it, Canada? Are they Canadian?
I want to say so, but don't quote us.
So
I'll Google it. 1 minute.
Put an asterisk. Sorry,
check,
American.
Check for later.
Yeah, so it's
from like Mexico or something.
I know, yeah, massively wrong now.
That was Fall in the Brawl was good for that.
Canadian.
Yeah,
Canadian. Yeah, he is. There he is. He does know his stuff there.
So Fall in the Brawl was really good for that because like there were so many European bands when we were playing, and the merch space is so packed together that you just start chatting to everyone.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And we've made connections with people that we still talk to now and still help us out, like with European stuff as well. So it benefits you even 2 years later. I think that is now.
Yeah, that's how far back it was when you last played, wasn't it? You had was it the Friday show you played?
We played the Friday, yeah. We played about 5 p.m. as well, and it was still packed out.
I remember seeing the videos when they were put up and stuff. And didn't someone get binned during your set or something? Or I'm sure someone got a bin lobbed at their head or something. Like,
could have been us. Could have been Chamber of Malice. Sounds like something that happened to them.
Yeah, it's just one of those. Just fucking out. It's just violence and nuts, but it's all good fun. Yeah, I was going to actually mention about Fall in the Brawl there. So that was a pretty big one, wasn't it? Who else did I mention before that you played with? So yeah, Last 10 Seconds of Life there was one as well.
Yes.
They're a brilliant band.
Yeah, insane. You had a couple of tours actually lined up for this year. I know. You were playing. Was it two of the renounced Vatican shows, Birmingham and Manchester, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I was so upset when all this started coming over because I had tickets booked for that and everything. I was so ready for it.
Well, we were in talks to play the London show, but I can't remember what happened with that. I think actually we were meant to play a festival in London the same day, and we ended up going with the festival, and then we pulled out of that festival because of issues with the promoter, and then so we ended up with nothing in the end. But it's nothing anyway because
it won't, because then it didn't even happen, did it? No, sadly not. There was a recent tour as well. Was it the beginning of the year with Broken Humanity that you did it with?
That was meant to be Europe.
Was that meant to be Europe?
Yeah, so they were meant to be doing those. Well, originally we had London, Netherlands, and Germany booked. They were meant to do all three, but they pulled out literally within about 2 or 3 weeks to go.
Oh, that's upsetting. I remember the last time they came over here was with Depravity, didn't they? And they ended up getting their van broken into.
It was horrible, yeah. I was there, yeah. Field. Well, not when they got the van broken into. I was there at the show.
At the show,
yeah.
Incrimination. We got him. We found him. And that's how you do that, boys. Yeah, so that was they suffered for that, mate. I felt so sorry for them.
Sadly,
luckily we've never had anything like that. But
until Shaun Troll was in Birmingham saying that his car's been broken into, and he comes back down and he's like, surprise. That was horrible.
Have you had any? Go on, sorry, Shaun. Sorry, mate.
I was just gonna say we've been quite lucky. We try and take care of like the things. So like if we're staying at a hotel, we'll take like expensive stuff into the hotel.
Yeah, just to make sure everything stays safe.
You try your best to hide stuff, and you just got to be smart about it. Like when we were on our recent tour, when we had a van, we made the rule that 2 people had to sleep in the van every night, 2 different people every night, just so that if something did happen to the van, straight away you're up and you can sort it out. Which isn't nice, but
I thought you was going to
mention got to be done.
LA then.
Oh no!
Oh, we have to mention it now. Come on, talk to us.
Yeah, go on, Jack. I was asleep.
Well, we was in the van. We played London, and then we got across the Channel Tunnel at about 2 a.m, and we parked up in Calais. And Jimmy and Jack, the 2 guys from Hazel, one of them was driving. They went to find food, so we just parked up and locked the van. We're all inside sleeping, and they all went to sleep, and I was still awake. I was the only one awake, and the next minute I hear the handle going on the back door, and I'm like, oh my god, what is that?
Yeah.
And then so I woke them up and was like, you need to wake up. There's something going on here. So Matt got up, like got changed, whatever, and walked through to the bit where the table and the TV and stuff was, and he looked out the window, and there was 3 guys just looking through the window like that. And we were like, oh my god. Because when we parked up, we saw some dodgy things happening to like these people trying to break into vans and stuff, but we were like, we just thought nothing of it. And then they were trying to get into our van. And they were trying all the handles on the door and everything. And I was like, oh no, we're going to get mugged. They probably got guns or anything. We didn't have a clue what was going on. It was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Mate, I could not be bothered with that. That's
scary experience, that. Scary.
Yeah, so luckily we drove off and parked somewhere else and they didn't bother us again. But we went back the next morning and they were still there in the daytime trying to break into like wagons that are pulling up and stuff. So
still going ridiculous.
Yeah, in the broad daylight where everyone could see them, we was just trying to lift back the lorries up and stuff.
I slept through the whole thing, mate.
Yeah.
Ed was gone.
Well, I was quite confident. There were 7 of us, and I think there were 3 of them. So I was like, surely we'd deal with whatever is going to happen. So I thought, right, I'll go back to sleep until I'm needed.
Yeah, and you're a couple of northern lads. Do you know what I mean? Not shy to if someone gives you a bit of a bad situation. What are you saying? Come on, mate.
You say that, but we're all quite shy.
Yeah. Oh no. I'm like I say, I'm all talk me. But if someone squared up and fucking put a fist up, I'd cry. Like, I am such a little wimp. Honestly.
I think we were just more cautious about the gear getting robbed because we have so much like gear and it's expensive. So
naturally. So keeping all of that is the aim of the game, isn't it?
That's the thing.
I was more worried about the van because we borrowed Malevolence's van. So like I was more worried about ruining their van than my own gear.
Yeah, making sure it comes back to them in one piece.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anything stolen gear-wise?
No, nothing.
It's the worst feeling on the planet.
What, it happened to you?
Yeah, I had a pedal board. We played Manchester Academy 3, and when we was doing merch afterwards, like because we were on the support bands, we already started loading out before like the show had finished. So I was the last one there with all the merch, and I left my pedal board at the side of where the desk was. And then we've only realised when we're going back, like, shit, I've left it. So we was like, all right, we'll ring in the morning. So rang in the morning, we're like, oh, it's not there. I was like, oh. So I had to replace everything on my pedal board. It felt sick. Still waiting for the CCTV footage from Manchester Academy. So if you're watching,
get onto that, please, and thank you. How long ago was that?
That was, I want to say 2014. So it's a while.
And you're still waiting on the CCTV, mate. That's never coming back. Never coming back. That mate. That's a pipe.
No, it's horrible though.
I've never had anything stolen, but like when we played in Camden, I went to get some food and the band that was on before us were playing, and I came back in and I was just watching them. I was like, oh, sounds all right, this. And I looked on the stage and my head was just on the amp. Like, it was I was like, oh no. So I went over to it at the end and I was like, is that my head? He's like, yeah, sorry, I kind of used it. I was like, oh, right, well, thanks for asking.
You can't do that. I think that's the worst thing about being a guitarist, where people like kind of lend you gear and you're like, fuck off. End of the day, it's set a certain way. You have your treble, your mid, your bass, everything set a particular way, so it sounds the way that you want it. It's like if someone like What was it? We played a show a couple of years ago, and someone went over to the other guitarist who's left now, but he had a Kemper, and he was like, "Oh, can I borrow your Kemper?" And he was like, "You fucking serious? It's like set for each song. Like, why would you do that? Like, it's fine."
In that guitarist defense, in that guitarist defense, who used Jack's head, his head literally in the second song blew up, and they were like, they were panicking, and obviously they were opening this show. I'm pretty sure like they hadn't played many shows, so second song, head blows up, they were panicking. So I didn't mind. Jack did, but
in my defense, I didn't know that his head blew up, and like, I wasn't arsy about it. I was just like, well, yeah, whatever. I didn't know what to say to him. I was just like, well, yeah, you've done it now. Well, as long as you haven't broken it.
Accept it now, yeah.
As long as you haven't broken it.
You ever had that, Shaun, with like your drums and that? Has anyone like asked to like borrow like stuff off you all the time?
Always. Every gig. And it's annoying because I'm like in that moment, I hate saying no. Because I feel like if I say no, then some like the show's hindered. So I'd rather it be a successful show.
Like you're jinxing shit.
So like our manager Jay, he's like told me to be stricter and stuff. Like if anyone asks you again, no, it's been detailed in the contract that all bands bring their own breakables. But if someone's like, "Can I shoot stand?" I'm like, "Oh, go on then."
Yeah. You've twisted my arm. I'll do it.
Like fair enough. Like cymbals, pedal, and snare is probably a no-go. But stands, I don't have an issue really with. Because I've had gigs before where I've turned up and I'm like, "Oh no, I forgot my hi-hat stand or whatever." So if you help someone, someone will help you. That's the way it goes.
Yeah,
I think
it's right forgetting a stand, but Newton literally forgot his guitar one gig.
Oh, well,
as if
we had a gig in Sheffield. Yeah,
guitar.
he literally, we got up to sound check and then he was like, "Where's my guitar?" And they was like, "Did you bring it?" And we were like, "No, why would we be responsible for your guitar?" And he was like, "Oh no, I'm going to have to go and buy a guitar just for the guitar."
No.
No way.
Did he actually?
Luckily we got sorted out by Broken Down, one of the bands. They lent us one of their guitars, so thankfully it all went.
Well, they wasn't on the show though. He had to drive or get to the show to just lend us that guitar.
Yeah. But massive credit to him.
There you go. That's support 101 right there. So,
that's what I mean. He knows that if he ever needs us to help him with something, we're going to be the first to do it.
Oh yeah, he's got himself like a little Monopoly free pass in it, mate. And that's what he's got there now. A little hardcore free pass.
Well, luckily, it's only happened once, but oh my god, it was so funny. But
guitar.
It's annoying though because you're literally about to sound check for the show, so you're angry, but it's so funny that he just forgot his guitar.
I can imagine him sort of stood there though, like scratching his head a little bit in pure confusion, like, "Now hold on a second here. How did I forget a full guitar?"
Well, Newt's really awkward as it is as well, so he was like, he was just like, "Did you not bring it?" So it was awful.
That's always a fear, isn't it? When you're a guitarist, that you're gonna forget your guitar. I've done it where I've been holding my guitar case and been thinking, "Is there a guitar inside of this?"
Yeah,
I don't know. And then you have to stop, look at it, and go, "Okay, we're good," and then actually go to the venue.
Was the case, and you're all good. See, I'm fortunate as I don't have this problem, as I've only just started picking up bass. So if I ever turn up to a show, I'm never there to be in the band. It's just I'm there to just have a fucking fun time. So I'll never forget anything like that. But little stories like this really prepare me for the future, because I can have a house without I'll do the old jeans check. So I'll do the old pat down. I'm like, right, I've got everything here. There. Sound, right, all good. And then I'll leave the house and I'm sound. So if ever in the future I do sort something out like that now, I know for a fact that I'll double, triple check everything so I don't have any horror stories like this. But no doubt it'll happen.
Or it has to happen. It has to happen to learn.
It's character building.
shaping me into a better person. What'll happen is, though, it'll be I'll end up doing something really stupid, like just not turning up to a show, like completely forgetting that we're meant to be at a show. I've double, triple checked everything, and then I'll be like, yeah, right, sound. So that's tomorrow. I'm getting messages like, lad, where are you? What do you mean? We're on in an hour. What do you mean?
I was just trying to think if we had any instances of that. I know we had a time where our old bassist, he literally turned up about 3 minutes before we played. But I think it was like travel train issues. Like he used to live in Leeds and we live in Preston. So but that was almost one of those moments where we're about to play and it's like, oh no, we're missing a member who's meant to be here.
A full member.
We have played without a bassist before. We played in Huddersfield, just me and Shaun. Literally just me and Shaun and Dan. Vocals, that was it. 3 people.
Yeah.
That was when times were hard. To be fair, though, it still went off, didn't it?
It went off, yeah.
I think I've done it once. Oh, go on, sorry.
No, go on, Matt. Sorry.
I was going to say, do you guys remember the Manchester Roadhouse? This is how long we're talking.
Roadhouse. Yeah.
So my old band played a show there, and our drummer was actually that late. We played 2 songs, and then that was it.
Nope.
Like we were that far into our set that we went on the stage, we played 2 songs, and then was like, right, packing off, and off we go again.
I thought you were going to say you played 2 songs without him.
We played 2 songs. Like we had a full 45-minute set, and we went on for 10 minutes, and then some guy was like, "Okay, that's it." I'm like, okay, thank you.
The thing is, though, if that happens, though, did you kick him out?
No, we actually didn't.
He stayed for another 2 years.
I think
was it his fault?
It was definitely his fault. It was something to do with work or something like that. And it was like down the road, like, oh, I'm in a taxi, but it's bad traffic. We're like, mate, you've only got your snare drum. Just fucking run with your snare. And it was like, oh wait, mate, but you're already like 3 hours late.
Yeah. Oh, that gives me anxiety thinking about it.
It's heavy. It was horrible. Horrible.
I could not be in a band with someone that untrustworthy. No.
I think he went about 6 months after, but it was a bad do. Like we were kind of like, we should really kick you out for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too far. Yeah. Too far for me, that.
Yeah.
Another show that you did was that Hoods one, wasn't it? That was part of the was that Gnostic State release tour. What was that Hoods one like?
I really enjoyed that one. What about you, Jack? I thought it went really well.
Yeah, it was good. Other than I was ill because we did the 5 or 6 days before that, and I got really ill at the end of it. And then I turned up and I just felt horrible. So yeah, it was good, but it was a packed room and there was loads of people there. It was a really small venue.
Was it Retro Bar?
Retro Bar.
Yeah, Retro Bar.
Retro Bar.
There years and years before with other bands, but it was never that busy. But yeah,
I vaguely remember it being one of the sweatiest shows I've ever played.
There was literally sweat dripping from the roof.
I really remember it.
One of those shows, yeah.
Yeah,
it was
nice.
Proper juicy show. There's been some of them. Bolton was good for that in the Alma Inn. I know you played there a couple of times, but was it inside and outside?
Best venue in Northwest.
Yeah.
I love the Alma Inn. I love it.
Imagine a local from Bolton walking past in here and that outside, be like, "What's going on here?"
Oh, so funny. So Matt, to explain this scenario to you. So imagine you're on it's actually a nice sunny May day. You've got Purulence from Wigan. They played. We had Gassed Up. Who else was on there?
Chainsaw Castration
played.
Oh, did they?
After the Abduction as well.
After the Abduction, that's the one I remember, yeah.
And then Ingested. So, mate, it's just slams everywhere, right? Just fucking straight up slams everywhere. And people just walking past on Bolton High Street, just like, fucking, what's going on here? And you just got...
Bearing in mind, this is outside.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah, mate. And it just fucking, honestly, it slaps. It was a good show, that one. I like that one.
I love that venue. It's the sound engineering there is incredible. All the PA's so good. It's fantastic.
Yeah, everything works perfectly there. I don't think I've ever seen a bad show at the Alma. And there's been a few shows there now, hasn't there? Like,
It's one of those shows.
Oh, go on.
Go on, Jack. No, you go on.
I was just going to say, I remember, have you heard of a band called Adept? I think they're from Sweden.
Yes, yeah, they did an Empiricon Fest, didn't they? Where they came over and they opened up, and then Desolated were after them. Yeah, I remember.
So they were supposed to play in Manchester at like one of the academies, and it got cancelled last minute, and they ended up playing at the Alma, and there were like 5 people there. So we just got on the train and went to watch, and it was like an empty room with them playing, and they're a really, really good band. So we were just like, what is going on?
Mental.
It was really good.
So actually, that show just got cancelled like last second, so they went to.
And they were like, "Can anyone put us up?" And yeah, they just played. Alma said, "Yeah, come down and play." So was that right? So we just jumped on the train and went down. It was mad.
Yeah, Alma's seen some good shows there. Fucking hell, I got too smashed at that last show when you guys were there ingested. I got too drunk. That shouldn't have happened. It's your Dan's fault, that, you know. Your Dan gets me giddy.
That sounds like Dan, yeah.
Yeah, he just gets me giddy. It's they've got a song, Matt, right, called IPA Till I Die PA, and was it Dan who came up with that? It must have been Dan.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Dan's the only one who drinks IPA.
If you cut Dan, he bleeds IPA. Simple as.
Yeah.
just hops and yeast.
Yeah.
Honestly, mate, he's just
when he's had,
that's all he is.
When he's had a drink, he's the biggest extrovert you've ever seen in your life. He'll just come up to you and start speaking to you about random things. But that's why he's good at networking. So
I was gonna bring that back up. Him and Matt are great for it. Like Matt's funny online. Fucking hell.
But we now draw a line of how many beers Dan can have. Sean, explain.
Right.
When any story starts with right, listening. That's listening. Babe.
This band almost ended one night. we were that close. We when I'm talking about it, it sounds like I'm being really hostile towards Stan, but it's not. It's with love. But you'll understand when I say it.
But
we played a gig in High Wycombe. We did a weekender with Azazel in 2018. I think it was, or 2019. And last show of the weekend, been really good up until then. Got to High Wycombe. We sound checked about 4 p.m. and Dan was drunk already. And we were on at like 10, I think. And I don't think he said a single word from any of our songs. In our songs when we played, like, what noises was it, Jack? It was just like, and he didn't stand up straight the whole time.
He couldn't even string a sentence together. And like we were just looking at each other whilst we were playing, and I was looking at Sean, and we were just going,
shaking heads like.
And like Sean was looking at me, just going, "We're gonna have to cut it."
And I said down the mic as well, I was like, right, this is going to be our last song. I'm stopping this. And then we finished that song, and then Dan was like, right, this one's called Unbenign. Carried on.
Oh, no.
And we were just like, do we stop? Do we carry on playing? I don't know. My God. And then, so we took him to bed, and then in the morning we had a family chat.
I'm going to tuck you in, but tomorrow morning we're going to have a chat about what the fuck that was last night.
It was the worst. How long do we play for? Half an hour. Worst half an hour of my life.
Yeah. No offense to him. We love him greatly.
Oh, yeah. Love him to bits, but that...
It was just a point where we thought, you need that can't happen again because it makes us look unprofessional and all the rest of it, you know.
Yeah. No, I can understand that. That's fair enough.
Absolutely.
Funny to hear back on now, but at the time I can imagine your frustration. And knowing
we laugh about it, and when you hear the words High Wycombe, there's silence afterwards.
Everyone just sort of looks at each other.
When you said that.
Like a Vietnam flashback.
Yeah, you know when someone's getting out of hand and you've got to say like one word in front of them just to fucking bring them down a peg. It's just High Wycombe, and he'll just head down, look at his shoes, like, all right, yeah, I need to behave myself now. So.
In Dan's defence, he hasn't done it since, has he?
No, he's been on his best. Yeah.
Best behaviour now.
Bearing in mind, he's the oldest one in the band as well.
Always tends to happen.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I can't wait until
I was gonna pop onto your to the old gassed up merch. I always love talking about people's merch, right? We spoke about I think Cold War's when they did a split there, Cold War and Mantlet. It was, you know, how they had like the it was like the Simpsons tape cover.
The hit and run.
Yeah, that's right, hit and run. The old. Oh, mate, what a fucking game. You guys have done quite a few, haven't you? Now there's like a British Gas rip. There was an Adidas one as well. Adigas on it. Who comes up with these ideas, and have you got any more in line?
We generally, you know, we do it all ourselves in terms of ideas, you know, and luckily Matt, who's our bassist, is a graphic designer as well.
That's right. Yeah, he does the posters and stuff as well, doesn't he?
Yeah,
for shows.
Matt does, other than music videos, Matt does all our graphic content. He does all our posters. He does all our merch designs. So we're quite lucky. We've got such an asset in the band, really, for that. So so ideas-wise, if we've got a funny, like the British Gas one, I had that idea about 3 years ago, and I was like, it'll be so funny if we just do a British Gas logo with gassed up. And then when Matt got in the band, it was like, right, we can do it now because we've got someone to do it for us. I think Matt came up with the Michael Jackson one.
I did the Adigas one as a joke.
You did the Adigas.
That was funny. They're all just funny ones, really.
Yeah.
We all just took ideas and like, well, what can we put gas in that'll make it funny?
Is there any other ideas that you've thought about that just never made it to screen?
I don't know, you know. Not really, because everything we come up with, we just tend to do, you know.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It works out. It works out.
Yeah, like most ideas we have, well, we think are good, so we go with it.
Well, there was the. Go on, sorry, mate.
I was just gonna say we've always done well with merch. I think that's one thing that maybe sets us apart from other bands is our merch literally funds our band. Like, we've stopped having to put money into it because our merch funds it all. So I think that's one thing. If you can get right, it's invaluable having decent merchandise.
Yeah,
very much so. I mean, a lot of bands in the old hardcore game, they do it sort of that way. I think it's good to get it right in that aspect. You know, making sure that you're putting out the right content for people to sort of wear and stuff.
Yeah.
There was another one that you had as well, which I really enjoyed, which was the P-Town concrete one. You know, the E-Town.
that was Jack's idea as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so sick.
I mean, like a lot of the younger people won't really understand that because obviously E-Town are like quite, you know, I think I was from like the early 90s maybe.
I think it was around there in early 2000s. Like and that was released and stuff.
Yeah, so it's a few of the older lot have probably got it, but we didn't know if
a little bit of a head nod.
Yeah.
That was a good little rip there. I think it's good though, you know, to do stuff like that for several reasons. Because I know obviously E-Town, they're not like a touring band anymore. They'll play like the odd show, so they'll do like a This Is Hardcore Fest sort of like spot, won't they, or like somewhere along that line. But I like stuff like that because it's just like a little head nod, shines a bit of light on that sort of stuff that used to be going back in the day, just to let people know that obviously this is kind of where stuff like this came from. So you know, do your research. And secondly, as I say, it's the head nod towards that sort of stuff to let them know, like, yeah, man, like you may not still be going, but we still appreciate what you created there, and we're still trying to bring it back. Yeah, and respect.
A lot of those artists, there are a lot of bands like that are like our inspirations in a way. Like even like Rage Against the Machine, like they're one of my biggest inspirations, and I'd love to do a riff for Rage Against the Machine, but just thinking of ideas.
Yeah, of course, and applying it there to Gassed Up, because I reckon it could work. If you sat down, there'll be a correlation somewhere.
Jumping back to covers, we were speaking for ages, and we've even got an instrumental recorded. We were talking about doing Bulls on Parade for 2 years now. Honestly, we've been chatting about it for years, but we just never got around to doing it. I still want to, by the way.
I do. It's a brilliant song.
Well, so we just got to find out which band members are against it now. Shaun and Jack are buzzing for it. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see I love like little hardcore compilations, you know, like some like record companies will put together and stuff. That would probably be a good little selling point, wouldn't it? Having say for example, doing like a Rage cover there, so like picking like a sentimental 20-year anniversary album and getting all like a load of hardcore bands together just to do a cover of one song off the album, sort of thing. I think that would be pretty sick. You guys should definitely stamp down now and say you're having
Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine, yeah.
I want Testify as well. So we're doing Bulls on Parade and Testify.
Yeah.
There we go. Matt, that's going to be a venture for us now, mate. Right, when we get the hardcore project properly going now, we're going to have a hardcore compilations hit. Every guest that we get, they're going to do a Rage Against the Machine thing. That's going to be the reoccurring segment. I've decided. I know you're Shaun. There, you're is it Los Cabos drumsticks that you're covering?
Yeah. Yeah. So I've got 2 endorsements. I've got Los Cabos drumsticks and Dream Cymbals now.
Dream Cymbals now as well. Was that recent? Was it?
Yeah. Coming up to a year now, I think.
Fuck me. I'm behind.
I think it's coming up to a year. No, I might be. Well, it was after our tour, so not far off.
Within the year, at least. Then that's still some time there. So that was pretty big things there for Gassed Up. I'm assuming that's really helped you out.
Well, massive for me in particular, because it's like, I think the first thing was if you find these products you like and you don't want to use any others, I think it makes sense to try and get endorsed by them, because they not only help you, but you want to help them because you like their products. But then it's also like, it's getting the recognition that someone likes what you're doing and believes in you to the level that you believe in them. So like, they're not the biggest companies by any stretch, but when I've used their products, they've felt like the biggest companies to me. So that's why I was, you know what I mean though.
The quality of the products that you're using, like you can sit behind it and trust it. It's not something that's just been given to you and you've just sort of gone, I'll try it. But
this is one thing about, definitely Dream Cymbals. I said this in my I did like a little announcement interview, and Dream Cymbals are the only brand I've never cracked a cymbal. And that's a big thing for me because I go through.
Are you quite a hard hitter when it comes to the old drums then, are you? Or?
It's a bit of a problem. And I know if there's any drummers watching, they'll tell me I'm playing wrong, but I try and play right. But it's just the music I play, and I've got big arms.
You just get too involved in it. Just crash through everything, mate. That's what it is.
Give us a little flexion.
Show us the guns, mate. Big hands, tickets to the gun show. Big hands lead to big gloves, boys. You've heard it here.
And they've just not cracked. So it's like, it made sense for me to work with Dream Cymbals because it's the only thing that I can physically use.
The only thing you can physically smash the fuck out of and it doesn't break on you.
Saying that now, first show back, I bet I'll crack all my new cymbals.
That's it now, mate. We've jinxed it, haven't we? That's going to happen. Dan's going to get really drunk again. It's just going to be an absolute nightmare.
That's one annoying thing. So I got announced for Dream Cymbals, got my whole new fresh set of cymbals, and then lockdown happened, and I've not played them. I've not played a single one yet. It's literally going to be a year before I even play them.
Mate. Yeah, thinking about it, it's really pissed me off, that whole situation. I know I say that like a little privileged little white boy, like, oh, I'm annoyed by the coronavirus. No, but like, it's really put a stop on everything. That's why we're doing this. Like, because I was sat there and I was like, fucking hell, there's no shows to be going on with. How else can I do something to, at least get involved and get bands and stuff out there? So that's why, the Earful guys brought me in and said, right, let's get this fucking going off the road.
Yeah.
And here we are now. So I just wanted to make sure we got Gassed Up on there. That was always that was said at the start. So,
I hope this doesn't stop as well. Moving when shows come back, I hope like all these people doing extra stuff like podcasts and like people are doing covers and so. I hope it doesn't stop. I hope like everyone stays busy, and do show as well.
No, we're staying put.
Well, yeah, because, just before this all kicked off, Matt and the boys have been doing it for just over a year now, and they found themselves going to shows and doing it there anyway, so if I can get, obviously, this up and running, fucking hell, pop up to the shows and stuff, because I try my best to attend as many shows as I can, so just getting talking to people, and, as you say, as you quite rightfully said before, it's a networking side of it, and I think the more people we get talking about it, because we have got an underground scene, it is a very niche, this is our little spot in the world. So I think it's nice to, as you quite rightfully say, we're not the only podcast. There's a few others. there's a few dotted about. No, there's a Then and Now podcast in Essex. PC for PC by Johnny Pipes. He did one. I can't think of any others off the top of my head right now. So that's going on. I know Matt got involved in some covers, didn't he? Did you guys involve yourself in any covers as well?
I know Matt's done some stuff with Tom Hansel from Leached. He's done loads. He's done about 40 covers, and he's like interacted with loads of different musicians. That's really good of him. I've not done anything else with anyone. Just been doing our own things, really.
Just been cracking on with your own stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Jack? Did you find yourself getting involved in anything like that, or were you just happy to sit back and just watch?
To be honest, I've been working through quite a lot of it. Like since this lockdown, I've been working pretty much. I had a month off and then I've been back, so it's finding time, to be honest.
Yeah, of course, because you're consistently busy then by the sound of it, and then the rest of us were sort of like furloughed and stuff, weren't we? Like just sat around. So we had the time to do that.
I mean, when I get time, I do practice, and I do other genres of music as well. It's not just. I mean, I like a lot of blues and stuff like that. So there's a massive variance of genres that I listen to. So it's practice whatever really.
Whatever you're feeling like at the time. No, it makes sense, man.
Yeah, just
right, boys.
Running through the set as well and keeping up to scratch with that before we come back.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, and as you say. Was it in 4 weeks' time? We've got a potential new GASSED coming out there, so you've got to make sure you're learning all that.
Oh well, we're going to record it in 4 weeks. We've got all the pre-production done. We've got all the lyrics down. Vocals are recorded. We're just going to record. I don't know how.
It's me jumping the gun. That. No, that's fair enough.
I'm very excited for the single. Very excited for it.
Well, I mean, Gnostic State was received, or at least from my side, or at least when I seen it there, has been received quite well. I mean, are you quite happy with the reception that it's received as well, or is there anything that you think you could have changed for next time?
Thing is with Gnostic State, yeah, it went well in the grand scheme of things, and compared to a lot of bands who are in similar level as us, we do very well. But in terms of what we expected, I would say it didn't do as well, because I think we tried some new things. We started to feel very experimental, and we didn't want to just be labelled as that band who raps. So we tried a song or two where we had no rapping, and we tried more progressive style riffs. We tried veering away from hardcore more into some metalcore influence, and we just tried it. Whether it works or not, time will tell. But the new sound.
I was going to say there from the Judgment EP all the way up to Gnostic State. So the difference between those two is so big. Production-wise, it's so much better as well. So, everything's going in the right direction, I'd say, for yourselves. And obviously, you've definitely got the right mindset to make sure that you're going even further with it. It's not just something that you're half-assing. You want it done and you want it done well. So it's definitely being shown that way, at least I'd say.
Thing is, as well, is on that Judgment EP, out of our current members, it was me, Dan, and Jack. Whereas now we've got Newt and Matt on board. So we're almost a completely new band. We had 2 vocalists on the Judgment EP. We've now got 1. So we've got Dan, and then with the new members, like Newt does vocals. Jack and I have started doing more vocals. So it's like we've got a completely different sound just because we've got new assets within our arsenal, So it's just a case of we tried singing on a few of our tracks, which we thought we'd experiment with, because it was like Dan's not a bad singer, and then Newt can sing, so we thought let's just give it a go,
Yeah, well, you got to, as you say, you've got to experiment. You've got to try. You've got to, because it's all well and good being sat on them, but unless you give it a go and find out where it works, you're never going to know, are you? So I appreciate that. You've always got to try and keep everything fresh, though, haven't you? At the end of the day, it's but also on the flip side of it, it's keeping yourselves happy. Because I think there's a few bands out there just release music for the sake of other people, just to get it out. Whereas if you take your time and really appreciate what it is you're putting out there, I think it gets received a little bit better. I think you're happier as a whole, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you
could say that our new single is going back to roots, if you know what I mean. So it's
okay.
That's a little hint for you.
That's all it is. I'll take that.
It's a bit of a funny one as well, though, because I do think it is our most aggressive song, instrumentally wise, that we've done. Like that and Mother I Suffer, probably. It's like a mixture of Mother I Suffer style with Judgment style vocals.
Right. Okay. So that's going to be the old and new together. And created this hybrid. Okay.
We sort of went one way when we started. We went the other way, and now they've both crossed paths now. Ooh. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah. And Judgment had some Judgment was quite a heavy release, to be honest. So if it's in the style of Mother I Suffer, so it's going to be fucking heavy as battles. I can do that. I'll throw a cartwheel or two. You know what I'm like.
Hopefully it goes well. I mean, it's our first time in a proper studio, full live drums, proper producer. We're investing the most we've ever done in the release. So hopefully it should be good, and it should end all this lockdown for us with a bang to go straight back into 2021.
Yeah, and of course, and then you got the tour there, the Slam Worldwide one with Monasteries and Free Howling, and then
correct,
off on your way and you go, aren't you? So
we are.
Yeah. Cool. That's it, the boys. That's where we want to be. Right. Well, that pretty much covers everything I can question you on and pester your heads with. So, is there anything you want to mention there just before we call it a day?
Oh, just thanks to you guys for reaching out to us and having us on.
Oh, no, pleasure.
Yeah.
More than welcome. And like I say, we'll definitely keep you in touch once newer releases are coming along the line. So, say for example, in a year's time where we're looking at shows again and you've got releases like sort of sat there waiting to go, we'll get you back on, get that promoted, and just make sure you're heading in the right direction and just help you out the best way we can. So yeah, thank you very much for taking your time to speak to us more than anything.
Thank you for your time as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, lads. It's much appreciated.
Cheers. We'll do a fake goodbye and then we'll keep you on here for a sec.
Yeah.
Okay. Cheers, fellas.
Bye.
Cheers.
Right, that was episode 3 of the Hardcore Project, where, as you know, we got to catch up with Gassed Up. We really hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you continue listening to us for further episodes.
If you want to check out what we're up to and what episodes are coming up, make sure that you follow all of the socials at the Hardcore Project even. Make sure you get that checked out on all of our socials and go from there.
Peace. Cheers for your time, gang.